So at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, who is Andy Harrington and why should I believe anything he has to say about speaking? Well, look, I don't want you to believe anything blindly that I have to say. Instead, it's probably a better idea if you kind of put into practice the things that I'm going to share with you. And you'll probably find the magical effect they can have on both, well, you and your presentations. Look, I can still remember the very first presentation I ever did. I was working for Churchill Insurance and they asked me to give a presentation to 5 people. And I was completely overcome with fear. And the thing was, I also made some pretty stupid mistakes as well. Because one of the things you begin with as a presenter is not always knowing what to do with your hands. And I was fiddling with the flip chart pen. So much so that it must have been completely irritating to the audience. I was taking the lid off, I was putting the lid back on again. And I was pretty boring as well, to be honest, and I must have bored them into submission. But let me tell you, that wasn't the worst thing. Because when I'd finished the presentation, I went into the restroom afterwards to wash my hands, and there was pen on my hands, but some of that pen had got transferred to the middle of my forehead, and I'd been presenting with this giant black spot right here in the middle of my head. So as you can see, being a well-rewarded professional speaker is not something that anyone's born with, but it is something that you can learn to become. However, let me make a distinction. What you're about to learn is not your classical public speaker training. Look, there's more than enough organisations doing that already. Toastmasters, the Professional Speakers Association, and 1,001 other Train the Trainer courses. What you're about to learn are techniques that can make you into a professional speaker inside months, not years, and may just make you thousands, if not millions, from sharing your advice. Hi and welcome to the studio. Today we're going to be talking about the Kickstart Content Creator, because all great speakers have their points put into a system, meaning a system that is easy to teach and, more importantly, memorable for the audience. Today we put the Kickstart Content Creator into an acronym system. I've got the word START down the side of the page, and I'll be revealing each step of the model as we go. What you could do is the same thing, or potentially you could also have a system where each of these is the same letter, the 5 Ps if you will, the 5 Cs, or whatever you choose to have. The only other way you can do it is to build it into a visual model that you reveal on your PowerPoint slides or your keynote slides as you go through each step. Why are we putting our content into a model? Simply because it positions us as an expert. If all we do is just talk with no framework, no solution framework for our content, we're not marking ourselves out as different to every other speaker. Because when you build a solution framework for your content, you can build your whole talk around it. It can become a book, it can become your CD program, your DVD program, your 3-day weekend seminar, all built around this central idea that you build through this solution framework. So let's get started in the Kickstart Content Creator today. The very first element in the Kickstart Content Creator is vital if you don't want to come across as boring and predictable. You see, audiences will forgive you for most things, but what they won't forget you for is being boring. So essentially, at the beginning of each point that you make, don't jump right into giving the point. Tease them a little bit first. All of us are driven by 2 things. Essentially, the desire to move away from pain and move towards pleasure. So what you must do is know what the benefits of each point are before you make them, and what are the pains, the frustrations, and all the problems that people have if they don't put this point into their behavior or whatever it is that you're teaching. So essentially, what you must do is this. You must sell each point before you make it. Have you ever had a very salty meal. Maybe fish and chips, or a Chinese, or something like that. I know I have. And maybe about 30 minutes after I've eaten that meal, I suddenly find myself incredibly thirsty. And only then do I realise it's happened because I've eaten this great salty meal. So that's a very good metaphor, if you will, for what we're doing now. I am salting, or had salted this point before I made it. Meaning, by the time I reveal it, you are thirsty to hear all about it.
Hello, my name is Chris Farrell. I'm a former radio presenter at Heart 106.2. I'm also a member of Andy Harrington's Professional Speakers Academy, and I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured and delighted to make you this very quick video just to give a few words about Andy and the Professional Speakers Academy itself. Now, if you're interested in increasing the bottom line of your business, or if you're interested in creating a new business to make you a bit of extra money, one of the most important skills that you can spend a bit of time and energy investing into is learning some good communicative skills. And Andy Harrington, quite simply, is the master at communication. Andy teaches not only what to say, but how to say it as well. I am a member of the Professional Speakers Academy. I've learned an awful lot of strategies and tactics from Andy, and I've implemented these into my business. So much so, I released a new product online. I created something and I sold it online. This product made me over $1 million worth of sales, and if that wasn't amazing enough, I made this amount within 24 hours.
Hello, this is Millie Ponce, the social media queen, and I wanted to share with you that not long ago I couldn't hold a microphone, I couldn't present at all, but I knew that I wanted to be on stage, share with people my knowledge about social media, help them to be financially free. And after being part of the Professional Speakers Academy and follow his trainings and his great techniques, I improved so much that I was invited to speak in Australia, Hong Kong, and now we've been invited to speak in Malaysia, Thailand. It's just amazing.
Hi, this is Simon Coulson from internetbusinessschool.com. I joined Andy Harrington's Professional Speakers Academy last year, just before I had a big presentation which I really wanted to do well at. Using the stuff I learned from Andy, I managed to pull in £478,000 from just one speaking engagement.